just following up on what Senator Solan said, I think that this is the kind of provision that creates real consternation for us. No one necessarily wants to be in a position where you say, we're going to leave you with a more difficult choice. But if you look at present law, I think the average person at this juncture, given the status of our economy, they're going to say, people need to make tough choices here at the legislative level and at the local level as well. I feel that the governor's position on this going to a zero is probably more prudent, as opposed to allowing deflation to actually happen. And I think this is the kind of thing that's just going to aggravate our taxpayers if they find out what's really involved in it. My question in particular is the creation of the reserve fund. And I clearly understand the parts you took out based on the concerns about the contingency pieces, but on the reserve fund, how does that help? I mean, obviously, it's in there for a particular reason. This just allows districts to set aside money for, if the controller comes out and says, next year or 2 years from now, we expect contributions to go up by X%. Is this sort of a routine reserve fund that now it's just applicable to TRS?
Yeah. It's in place now
for ERs. Okay, but in other words, how does this potentially make a school district's life better? Does it allow them to plan better?
Well, I think one of the problems is they're trying to look away from having these big deviations and what you're going to have to burden property tax with. And if you have this set aside so that you have a more consistent amount each year for the TRs, so that it varies radically, they have this backup, this reserve.
So is this the type of fund that has to be voted on locally to be established, or are we setting it at the state level?
Well, I think it just gives school districts the capacity to plan for what these future pension costs are going to be. They don't have that ability currently, since most of their employees are the teachers' retirement system. To just have the ERS, really, that's like 20% of their workforce, doesn't make sense long term for them to be prudent about what ultimately is amounting to a larger and larger percent of what their expenses are.
But let me be more direct in my question. I believe there are certain funds that school districts are allowed to create that come into being after a vote by the local school district.
That would be the undesignated reserve fund, the one that's...
So this does not require any action at the local level. This is just, we're giving them blanket statewide authority to do this in every district.
Well, current law already permits them to do, and other local governments to do this for their employees. This is just this one exception for the teachers' retirement system. It would seem like a prudent fiscal approach to allow them to have those assets.
I understand the argument behind it. All I'm trying to ascertain is whether or not there has to be a vote at the local level. Does this go out as like part of the budget where it goes before the voters to say, are you in favor of creating this reserve fund, which we are now allowed to do by permission of the state of New York?
I'm sorry, double check, but to the best of my knowledge, I've been involved in budgeting for 30 years. I've never seen it.
No, they're not.
All right, any other questions? Okay, can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Thank you. Second? Okay, all in favor?
Aye. That way.
Beg your pardon?
Without red. No.
Without red.
Aye.
And you, Senator Flanagan? Down?
Yes.
Down.